What is up everyone, whoever you are and wherever you are, welcome back to another video. Today we're going over the things that we will see in Forza Motorsport 8. Now, these things are, while not technically confirmed, every single one of these has something that really made me go, okay, this will definitely be a feature in the game. First off, we have a day-night cycle. Now, why am I sure that the day-night cycle thing will be on the game? Now, first off, it's more than obvious that it's due to be featured. I mean, on this generation, we've had 3 Forza games, and in neither of them this has been a feature. I mean, let's be real, a lot of other sims in the market do feature a day-night cycle. No matter how simple it is, it's there. So it's time for Forza to do the same, step up. It's a great opportunity for them to show off their product, to show off the new console, which is one of the biggest purposes of the franchise in the first place. It's gonna be there. And if you don't think that's evidence enough, well, let me tell you something. It was featured on Forza Horizon 4, which was the latest game on the franchise. Now, yeah, sure, it's an arcade game, sure, it's a spin-off, sure, it's being made by completely different teams of developers. But hear me out when I say this. Why can we have a day-night cycle on Horizon 4 but not on Motorsport 8? I mean, let's be real, a lot of stuff is copy-pasted from Horizon to Motorsport to the new Horizon to the new Motorsport. It's more than obvious that if we did have a full day-night cycle working on Horizon, we will certainly have one on Motorsport 8. Why can't we? Now, next thing on the list, rally races. Now, let me tell you why I am so sure that we will have rally races on the new Motorsport game. There is evidence out there that at least rallycross was a thing on Motorsport 7 and was later scrapped. Now, why was this scrapped? Very likely because the game at launch had so many bugs, so many things that just simply didn't work. It was a disaster, and it's time for them. You know, they had 3 full years to get this game to work properly. I think it's more than reasonable to say that we will have this time the rallycross races. Now, if you look closely at the car list on Motorsport 7, we did have multiple, not just 1 or 2, multiple rallycross cars, which just backs up the theory that rallycross was a thing back on Motorsport. It's gonna be super easy to simply do it this time. They need a big innovation in this game. They can't just keep copy-pasting Forza Motorsport 4 over and over and over again, because let's be real, there's little to no difference between the last 3 or 4 games in the franchise. So every other competitor has some sort of off-road racing at some point, some even from like 10 years ago. So why can't Forza? I think it's time for them to do this. And not only is this backed from the fact that other people are doing it and they have that pressure on them, and that, but we also have to consider that it was a thing, and we have evidence that it was a thing on the previous game, and it was scrapped. So I think it's more than reasonable to say that we will see some form of off-roading races in this game. A lot of people complain that we have a ton of rally cars, or maybe SUVs and such, but no rally courses, no dirt zones, no nothing. I think, yeah, it totally makes sense. They either have to get rid of these cars because people keep complaining, or they have to give us at least a couple dirt courses, a couple rally courses. I doubt we will have full rally stages. That's just not the motorsport thing. But we will certainly see at least rallycross courses. Now, with that out of the way, we have also, and hand to hand, we will have, I think it's more than safe to say that we will have some sort of reference to the rally stuff on the new game cover. I'm not saying directly that we will have a rally car as a cover car, because that would leave out every other thing. The marketing team just wouldn't allow it because they would probably consider it misleading, and not clear enough of what the game is about. They don't want the customers to mistake this game as a full rally game. So it's more than safe to say that the cover car won't be a rally car and that's it, but it will certainly be referenced in some way because, like I say, it's a new big feature. They have to include it, they have to spread the word around. I think it's more than safe to say that it's happening in some way, which opens the possibility of having multiple cover cars. Next thing up on our list, GT Sport style for multiplayer races. Now, it's more than obvious, and I think it's more than evident, that the multiplayer experience on the Forza games hasn't been the best, I don't think, ever. And that is because the super extremely casual audience. Now, Forza is an arcade game, sure, no problem, but let's consider this. People just can't take playing Forza Online anymore, not even Horizon, not even Motorsport. It doesn't really matter, the experience is always frustrating, people ramming you everywhere, just little kids wanting to win the race no matter what, it's frustrating. Word has it out there that we will be seeing a GT Sport inspired online system with safety ratings, and so forth and so on, that will match you with people of your same level of skills. Now, I would usually not include this because, like I said before, this is kind of a rumor, this is kind of backed by some leaks out there, but I included it because of this reason. They just can't keep copy-pasting the same online thing over and over again. The community has been complaining for years and years and years. If we won't have a GT Sport kind of online, we will at least see some improvement of some sort. You have to agree with me on that. The online just can't keep being a disaster for the entire game existence. It's just not gonna happen. At least some sort of improvement we will definitely be seeing. Now, with this we will include the better ghosting system, which has been featured actually on an update for Forza Horizon 4. If you don't know about it, well, you basically, if you try to hit a car on max speed, you will automatically be ghosted to avoid this collision. Now, this, of course, and very obviously worked and brought down the ramming rates by a lot, but still, ramming hasn't been completely erased from the existence of Horizon. However, it did work, and it was something that fans like to see. It's more than reasonable to assume that we will see some sort of ghosting and protection system for the players to avoid this kind of collisions. Now, again, this is mentioned in the leak thing. I will be leaving the link on the description below so you can read it by yourself. Again, I wouldn't include this, but goes hand to hand with what I said before. We will definitely be seeing some sort of improvement because it just it needs to happen. Now, next thing on the list is a graphical improvement, which will be an excellent opportunity for Microsoft to show off the Xbox Series X. It's more than obvious. I mean, let's be real, Forza 5, Forza 6, Forza 7, they pretty much look the same, and that's okay. I mean, there have been slight improvements here and there, but I think Forza 8 has the potential to be the better game out there, and the best Forza game. Now, like I said before, Xbox Series X is a perfect opportunity for Microsoft to showcase their product and to take advantage of the new hardware and ray tracing technologies. It is a very mainstream product that contributes largely to the image of Microsoft Corporation and the Xbox Series X as a whole thing, so they very obviously have to have very stunning graphics, and they will obviously be taking advantage of the ray tracing technology. So again, night races and day-night cycles will come into game and will help a lot. It's the obvious thing to do, take advantage of these things. Now, next up on the list is new suspension and tire model. Both of these things have been discussed by the developers and have been confirmed. Now, new suspension and new tire model will imply a lot of things. Now, if you didn't hear, the new Project Cars game won't have pit stops at all, which means you won't be allowed to make a strategy based on that, but it's more than safe to say that if Forza will have it, I think it's more than safe to say also that the new Forza game will have a more sim-oriented approach. Now, what does this mean? Why bother changing the suspension system and the tire model if it's an arcade game? This brings me to the new point. More sim-oriented approach to the game. Like I said before, if it works, why fix it? Now, if they didn't care, if they simply wanted to keep pleasing the arcade audience that this game has, they wouldn't bother, they would just copy paste from Forza 7, but they want to do an effort, and they confirmed it themselves that they are working on a new thing. Now, it's worth noting that suspension and tires are both things that are super hard to get right, even for full simulation games. So, very obviously, they want to do something. They want to head onto more motorsport direction. They want to take this with a new, more serious approach. The leaks out there suggest that this game will be a return to the roots, very sim-oriented game. Now, again, I really don't think they're going full sim, but they will definitely be trying to please this sim audience or hardcore racers audience in some way, and proof of this is that they have confirmed the new suspension and new tire model. It's going to improve the physics by a lot. Now, next thing up in the list is the return of Toyota, plus all of the important cars that have come, which brings me to the big point, updated car list. Now, people have been complaining a lot that the car list has been pretty much the same. Forza 5, Forza 6, Forza 7. I mean, in Forza 6 we have 2015 cars. That's okay, that's understandable. But at this time, the Ferrari 488 came out, and it was like, okay, maybe we didn't get it on this game, but we will get it in Forza 7. Well, bad news. We didn't get the 488 GT3 at all. They just simply copy pasted most of the GT and racing cars from the past game, and it's just a lot of fans complain about this. In fact, we have a running meme. The M3 GT2 has been confirmed once again for like the 4th, 5th time. They just need to update this car list. We can't keep having these cars from like 10 years ago over and over again. I think we still are carrying cars from like Forza Motorsport 3 or 4. We're on Forza 7. You think that at this time we would have, okay, the 488 GT3 or something? It's okay if they don't have the latest Supra, if they don't have the latest C8. Okay, I understand that you would want to leave that for the new game, but come on, at least some cars are just like old enough to be on this game, and they simply aren't. So an updated car list makes sense. They can't just keep bringing up the cars from the past 4 games over and over again. So this kind of confirms the presence of the Corvette C8, the Ferrari F8 Tributo, and the whole Toyota brand, which was added on truck updates on Forza Horizon 4. So that just strengthens the point. We will potentially, but not sure, be seeing the new Lamborghini Sián and all of the new hot new cars. Now, with this brings a potential reduced car list. Fans complain that we have a lot of cars, a lot of them very useless. I agree with them, like trucks and rallycross cars. Okay, we have over 700 cars, but like how many of those do you actually care for? It's like 100 or 200 cars that we actually want and need, and even then a lot of the cars that we want and need are just not on the game. So a reduced car list, just like it happened when Forza 5 came out and the new Xbox One, it was a very rushed release, so they had to reduce the car list a lot to focus on quality. It will probably happen again in this new generation of games. Now, I honestly don't care about the number, I just want to have cars that we will actually use. So I really hope people don't complain if this happens. Now, I think this is everything for today. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Let me know if you know something that I don't. Let's just hope that the game due to be rebuilt in like 2 days, comes out at least decently. All we want is proper racing, proper racetracks, proper race cars. It's not much we're asking for. Now, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next